Hello guys, welcome to Mother Code Academy. In this channel, I will be teaching you computer programming language. We are going to start with C++ because it happens to be the most difficult language. We are going to make it to be simpler than Python. Know that if you know the most difficult, you will play with the most simplest. Let's see what the video have for us. What is C++? How does a compiler work? Where should I run my C++ program? Anatomy of C++ program. Writing our first code in C++. What is C++? First, we say it's a general purpose, meaning you can use C++ to create all types of programs. Games, operating system, browsers, compilers, embedded system. All other general purpose software can be designed using C++. And we said 2 is a compiled language. Compiled language, that is converting code that you understand, you human, you understand the language. The computer convert our source code into the code that machine understand. That is bits 0 and 1. The source code is the code written by us. And that is what we are going to be learning in this our channel. Then the object code or machine code is the code that computer understand. And then we say C++ is case sensitive. C++ distinguishes between uppercase and lowercase letters. My variable written in small letter is not the same thing as my variable written in capital letter. The next thing we're going to see is how a compiler works. Basically, the main job of a compiler is that it compiles or it converts our source code. Our source code is the code written by us. It is similar to English language. So computer don't understand the source code. The compiler help the computer to convert the source code into object code, sometimes called machine code. That is 0 and 1. So a compiler is the middleman between our source code and our machine code or the object code. So there are many types of many compilers. Like in this channel, I will be using dev C++ for this course. So there are many like Visual Studio. If you are using smartphone to write programs, maybe you don't have a laptop or a PC, you can use CXX Droid for Android. And then there is a similar version for iOS. But for me, I will be using dev C++. If you want to use dev C++, feel free to download dev C++. You download it like the normal application. We download, you install it, and then you follow the course from the beginning. I think it's time to get into our video and see what the video have for us. We're going to see the anatomy or structure of C++ program. We're going to run our first program. In this channel, I'm going to touch the basic of game programming. So if you have passion for games, this channel is for you. I'm going to touch the basics of mathematical computing, that is writing programs that solve mathematical problems. We're going to have big project later in the course. So if you love that, this channel is also for you. Let's start. We are going to see the structure or the anatomy of C++ program. As you can see, this is my compiler. You just enter the compiler. The first time you open the compiler, it will show you something like this. So just click on Ctrl N, that is a new page. So basically we type hash include iostream and int main. This is basically the structure or the anatomy of a C++ or a simple C++ program. The hash include is called preprocessor directive. Meaning, anything that comes together with it is going to be processed before, or is going to be compiled. It's going to be processed before the main program gets compiled. The main program starts from line 3 and ends in line 13. So the iostream here This I stands for input and the O is for output. So input, output string. This is a header file. As the name implies, it is at the top of our program. So it deserves to be called header file. There are many header files in C++. It depends on the nature of the program you are writing. Before you can use input and output, you must bring the input and output I string here. Sorry, string. So that is I string, input, output, string. So this is just a header file. For example, if you want to write a program that needs some mathematical functions, you would like to add to include CMaths. Maybe the program contains some games. As I said, we're going to touch the basic of game programming. So we can say hash include vector. We can also add another one. We want time. So there are many header files in C++ program, depending on the nature of program you're writing. If the program is very complex, sometimes you can add up to 30 or 40 header files. It depends on the nature of the program. So in this course, we're going to stick with the I string, input, output string. This is called the main function. It is the main function of our program. So this int is the return type of the function, meaning our function is going to return an integer. That is why in some of the C++ program, you see something like return 0. So we're not going to be putting return 0 in our program. We're returning 0 and nothing is just the same thing. So just leave this space empty like this. The main here is the main function. So as the name implies, this is the name of the function. So it's our main function. At least before a C++ program can run, there must be at least a main function. You can also have a user-defined function, that is a function created by the user. For example, if you see the nature of this program like this. So if you want to create your own function, you can also do the same thing at top here. So we're going to that as we go small into the course. As we dive into the course, we are going to read functions and you will understand how a functions work. You will get to understand even the main function better. So these brackets, if there's something inside the bracket, it tells you that yes, the function receives parameter or an argument. If there's nothing, then there's nothing. This opening bracket marks the beginning of the program, where the body where our code is going to be written. So if I come here and type std : cout, so we're going to type game over. If I hit F11 to save, compile, and run, let's save it program 1. Program 1, hit enter. So you can see, here comes game over. So let's try to understand the program. Let's start from here. The STD stands for standard. The STD here stands for standard. I'm going to explain it better if I use something here. The colon is called scope resolution operator. So meaning we are fetching cout from STD. That is just what this 2 : means. The cout here, the C is for console. Console is the screen of the computer. Then the out means something is going out. So cout meaning display it out. And then this 2 less than symbol shows that something is going out, just like you open mouth. And then the quotation here, this quotation shows that whatever we type within the quotation, it should be outputted the way we do it. We don't want any operation to perform on it. Just show us the way we give it to you. That is just what this 2 quotation mark means. Let's try to understand something. If I type std : cout 5 + 3, if I hit F11, what is going to happen is that, as you can see, game over is here, and then 8 is here. So they are just in the same line. Now, if I want my computer to output them in different line, because computer don't understand that this line is over, the semicolon here marks the end of a statement. So this semicolon here tells the compiler that, hey, my compiler, or hey, computer, this semicolon shows that this statement has come to an end, is the end of this line. So the computer will just take this one here, we'll just bring it here and continue reading. So in order to tell the compiler that, oh, my compiler, we've come to the last part, there are 2 ways, or let me say 3 ways. So let's hit F11. As you can see, the computer shows us game over 8, 5 plus 3. This 8 is different and 5 plus 3 is different. We didn't break line. That is why the computer shows this. So as I earlier told you that computer don't understand if line has come to an end or if to break line. It marks that, yeah, this is the end of this statement by hitting the semicolon. Okay, to do that, to solve this problem, the other way is that we use less than. This symbol to show that something is going out, just like for the cout. Yeah, it's part of the cout. We put cout end line, then I put std colon end line. So end line is also an object from the std. So meaning these two scope resolution, the scope resolution operator is telling you that we are fetching end line from the std. So now I have created another new line. This is a way to create a new line. And this \n is also another way. The difference between this one and this one is that the \n, it only works inside quotation. So you cannot just bring \n. For example, here, you just do something like this and put \n. And you expect this program to run well. No, there is a problem. So the \n works within the quotation. It only works within the quotation. And then this one, anyway, you didn't need the quotation or there is no quotation, so you can use this second type of end line here. So let's run the program and see what will happen. So can you see? Game over. The game over is here. 8 is here. 5 plus 3 is here. So 3 statement. This 8, 5 plus 3 is 8. You don't have to put any quotation. So we want the computer to perform operation, that is add 5 and 3. But if you put quotation, it shows that, no, computer, just output it the way you see it. That is just the difference between putting a line in a quotation and not putting a line in a quotation. If you can look at this program carefully, you will notice that the STD is becoming too much. We've been putting STD. So we have to get rid of STD now. So if I remove this STD and this one, then I have to using namespace STD. Yeah. I will just explain this using namespace STD in brief because this is a beginner's course. So I promise you guys that whenever we reach to function, we explain what a function is. I will create a video to explain what the using namespace STD means in a C++ program. So just remind me in the comments down below when we reach to function. But before that, I have to explain it a little bit. The namespace is used in C++ to avoid naming confliction. For example, if you have 2 functions with the same name or 2 variables with the same name, the namespace will help you to differentiate between the one and the other. Basically, the STD stands for standard. So using namespace STD. So STD is part of the namespaces here. All these elements we have been using, cout, we have been using cout in this program. We have the end line, this end line here, there are many functions. There are many functions, or let me say there are many elements and objects within the STD namespace. Programmers consider using namespace STD as a bad practice because you are bringing many things in which you just want to use 2 or 3 things from it. However, in this beginner's course, we are going to be working with the using namespace STD. As we dive into the course, we will get to understand why using namespace STD is a bad practice. And then we will be using the nice one. So for now, just understand that the namespace is being brought to C++ to avoid naming confliction. For example, if many people are working on a project, for example, 10 people come together in order to program a game. So there will be a conflict in function's name. The other programmer can create a function called, let's say, setup, and the other one will also create its own. So different programmers will create functions with similar names. But in order to avoid the confliction, the naming confliction, we have to bring namespace. So STD is one of the namespaces. So here, as I put STD colon, meaning I'm fetching cout from my STD. But now I said using namespace STD. So I make STD to be global. Therefore, STD is everywhere in my program. STD is here, is everywhere. So I don't have to put it again. So my program will work the same. So as you can see, we get rid of our STD all the time. Let's see some things in our program. 5 minus 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. We are subtracting 3 from 5 in our program. And we can also have cout 5 multiply. The multiplication sign is basically the star symbol. Press shift and hit your button 8. And then we have cout 5 divided by 3. There's something I want to explain in this line, but I have to run the code first so that you can see what I want you guys to see. Cout 5 modulo 3. So let me explain comment here. In comments, this backslash, the 2 backslash, not this one. Sorry, this is slash, this is backslash. So the 2 slash means comment in program. So this is a comment. A comment is a text written by the programmer to understand what the program is doing. So basically, the compiler is not going to touch our comment. The comment is left for us to read it, but the compiler has nothing to do with comment. So feel free to use comment in order to make your program understandable. A situation whereby you are writing 5,000 lines of code or more than that, you need comment so that you can remember what the functions are doing, how they are working. Else, if you come back after a long period of time, you look at the program, you will not understand what the program is functioning or is doing. And you are the writer of the program. So the comment help programmer to know that, okay, in this place, this is what I do. So let's use comment in our program. We can use comment like, I can say, an introduction to C++. So this is a comment. My compiler has nothing to do with this one. I'm just seeing it, the programmer. So here, let's see how the comments work. If I put comment here, it's comment symbol. 5 minus 3 is 2. If I come here and I hit 5 times 3 is 15. If I come here, 5 divided by 3 is 1 point something, but the computer is not going to show us 1 point. I think it's 1.6667, something like that. So the computer is not going to show us this value. It is just going to show us 1. So let's see, and let's fix the problem later. Here, 5 modulo 3. This modulo, it is called a modulo operator. What this operator do is that it is going to check how many times can 3 enter 5. If you divide 5 by 3, what is the remainder? The remainder is what the computer is going to return. So now 3 can enter 5, 1 remainder 2. So this computer is showing us 2 here. So it is going to bring the result or the remainder of 2 divisions. there's a difference between this and this. This is 5 divided by 3. How many times can 3 enter 5? And that is all. And this one is how many? What is the remainder of dividing 5 by 3? If I divide 5 by 3, what is going to be my remainder? So if there is no remainder, the compiler will just return 0. For example, 6 modulo 3. So 3 can enter 6 2 times and there is no remainder. So compiler is going to return 0 here. No remainder. 0 shows there is no remainder. So let's hit F11. You can see. Okay, I didn't add n line. That is why this place comes as 5 plus 3 and 2. So let's add n line here. You can see. So since we're in the quotation, we can use backslash and n. So if I run it, and you can see game over is the first line, 8 is the second, 5 plus 3, 2, that is 5 minus 3 is 2, 5 times 3 is 15. And can you see 5 divided by 3 is 1, unfortunately. It's supposed to be 1.666 and 7, I think. And then this one, the remainder is 2. 5 divided by 3 have a remainder of 2. And 6 divided by 3 has a remainder of 0. So let's fix this program here. In programming, there is a rule that says the result of dividing an integer by an integer is also an integer. So you can write the rule here. I can say the result of dividing an integer by an integer is also an integer. And is also an integer. So that is it. Our rule is here. So we have to make this one. So in order to solve this problem, we just have to make this one to be floating point. A floating point is a number with points. It can be 99,000,000.99. Yeah, a floating point number. A floating point number is a number that has a decimal part. It can be 0.9. The whole number is 0, and the 0.9 is our floating part. So we can just make this one to 0.0. We solve this problem. It can be 5.0, or you can make it to be 5.0 and 3.0. It's also normal. Or you can make this one to be 3.0 and leave this one to be 5. Just make one of them to be decimal, to be floating point number. So if one of them is floating point number, then our answer will be in a nice way. So you can see 0.66667. So here it is. I think we're going to call this the last part of this, our first video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I'm going to teach you from the beginning to a point where you feel comfortable writing C++ code. We're going to see the basics of game programming in this channel. I love you guys.